Hey everybody. Uh, I've been making a few pieces in my studio today, and I need to make a couple new pieces. Now, I feel like we should definitely go on this journey together. but it's just basically a pie plate, and I'm going to attempt to make a bacon cooker. Got a little list of things that I need to try and make this week, if not more. But it's probably focused on my face instead of this uh, note card. But yeah, I'm going to make two pie plates to guarantee at least one survives. Um, Large flat surfaces have a chance of cracking before they ever finish, yada yada yada. I was recommended to make soup cups. I don't have any clay prepped for that, but that is something I will have to attempt before long. But I'm going to do this quick video with pie plates, with ruffles, like the ruffled edges, and bacon cooker. If anybody doesn't know what a bacon cooker is, it's basically it's a dish with either a pouring out area or not, and it's got in the center a tall cylinder, and you place your bacon on it, just all the way around. And while it's cooking, it drains off the grease and doesn't cause so much spattering, or supposed to not cause spattering. I'll give that a shot, but I went ahead and made a few things in here today. I made a spoon rest. For whenever you're cooking, you can put your spoon straight on it. A lot of people ask me what these are at festivals and fairs and such, and it's a spoon rest. I made a couple coasters, quick and simple coasters, and just a few water saucers for planters and such. But let's get into this. I'm going to use 3 pounds of clay for both the pie plate and the bacon cooker. If you have arthritis, I'm sorry for what I just did right in front of you with my knuckles, but alright, so I'm going to point the camera down at the bat because you don't need to see my face for this, you need to see this. Wish I could zoom out more, but small cramped studio, the options are a bit limited. Alright, so I've got a few 3 pound, one second, plastic bag wet clay. They get stuck pretty easily, but these are 3 pound kind of logs of clay. I just got to compact them into something close to a ball, and then get to making. I'm gonna start with the pie plates, and then work over to the bacon cooker. Might should do it the opposite way, but it's all right. See how I just make it into a ball, rotating it as I go. Alright, close enough. Alright, so now I just got to keep it center and slam it down. This might shake the camera, so you've been warned. Okay, this is 3 pounds of clay. I figure since I have to make it so tall, it needs to be at least 3 pounds. All else fails, I'll have to take off a little bit once I flatten it out to a plate, and then I'll have to, or I can remove some extra from the rim once it's made. Pretty close to centered already. Now, the good thing about plates and such is they don't need to be perfectly centered if you use a certain cheat methods. A lot of people consider them cheat methods. I just consider it a handy tool method. But nice and flat. Use a dowel rod, preferably one that will reach across your entire wheel or bat. Now you soak it in water. And we're just going to press down at a slight angle. You see it just like that. Now, as you do this, you're removing clay. And you want to keep the clay really wet, or else you'll remove a whole lot more way quicker than you should like to. Now let's keep going. Okay, 1 second. Should be about right. So this plastic bat that's underneath here is 12 inches wide. Plate inside needs to be about, about 9 inches on the inside, plus the rim. And as I make the rim, it's going to thin out a little bit. So this is about right. It's not too far off, but you can tell right there that it's kind of jolting back and forth. That means it's not even, which is part of using that method right there. All you gotta do is get the needle tool, just point it right on the inside. Now, get another tool and slice that off. Okay. Just like that, it comes up real nice and smooth, real simple. If you ever miss any, just go back and catch that. Yeah. Pottery is a very subtractive process. You're going to lose a lot of clay whenever you're making stuff, so sometimes you got to aim for a larger quantity whenever you start. Like this is going to be less than 3 pounds by the time I'm finished. Of course, it's already there, but it's probably going to be less than 2 pounds, all things considered, because it's going to have to dry out. It's going to be fairly thin, but not too thin. Okay, get this tool again. I can feel a little bit right here that I missed. Alright. Alright, now get my sponge. And right now we're just going to smooth out the side. That way it's nice and even, easy to work with. Okay, that extra right there. Now comes some simple stuff, honestly. So, I just use a flat tool of sorts. You can use this, you can use a wooden rib, whatever works. You don't want to use anything metal like this because it will potentially wave and bend up under and it'll ruin what you're trying to do. So you start by getting this and you slowly slice. If you get some extra clay coming up, you should definitely cut that off. And slice. Now we're not going very deep because it still needs to be 9 inches wide. Before we go any further, I have some calipers I've already adjusted to about 9 inches, and we are just past it. So, wait, really? 1 second. Checking this again real fast. Could use the ruler, but honestly. Oh yeah, okay, this works. Alright, so what we're going to do is add some water in the middle, and I'm going to very gently expand the base a little. I'm going to get these weird amounts of clay off of here. Now there are tools you can use to try and push out the middle, make it nice and consistent. Using a rubber rib right now. Okay, so alrighty, now back up under it again. Alright, and finally, we've achieved the state where we start to shape the rim up. Let's go ahead and let this lift up. Kind of compress this rim to itself so it's not everywhere. And we begin lifting up that wall. so as a first attempt, I think this one went rather well. But between this one and the second attempt, I had a lot of time to think about what I was doing and what I could improve on. So I think the second one came out significantly better. Alright, good start. Let's see how we're looking. It's a little bit whopped, which is good because we need to remove a little bit extra clay. Alrighty, that's a great start. It's almost done, actually. Last couple steps, I'm going to do a nice little design that I always do for my plates. If anybody has seen my plates or bought any of them, then they know I make a nice little ridge in the center, a spiral, and that's part of how I make my plates. It's pretty much always there. It's my personal preference. That's how I like to make mine. I'm sure there's a couple others who make them just like that or similar. And it looks like it's there already, but it's not. So we start here. Okay. And we'll go back over that with a sponge real fast to soften it so it's not sharp later on. Alrighty. And this. Let's see. Just... Alright, now we gotta ruffle up the rim. Let's see, I usually do it like this. I have to probably go back over it twice to be sure. Sorry if it looks like I'm flipping y'all off. It's not my intent, I swear. It's just how I've got to safely do this at the moment. Right here, okay. Come back around, and there we go. Now that's a good start. We're going to go ahead and torch it up a little bit, make it a little bit firmer, and then go back and do that one more time. Right now it's just a little bit too wet for me to properly, how do I put this? A little bit too wet for me to properly make these ridges and make sure they stay right, because they're not consistent at all right now because it's too wet. It's starting to flop, or it's getting a little too floppy. Alrighty, so let's do this again. right there's a mess up or something. So there we go. Alright, come on, almost done. Alright, other than smoothing up the rim a little bit, that's it. That one's done. Got my chamois cloth to smooth up the rim. Okay, let's see. Alright, just like that, we should be done. Well, with this one. Alright. Let's wire this one off. Find a spot to put it for the moment. Alright. Okay, and let's get it off of here somehow. There we go. Let's try not to warp it. And good to go. Alright, look at that. About 9 inches wide. Once it dries a little bit, it should still fit a pie, if I'm right. Alright, so let's jump over to the bacon cooker, and then, like I said, I'll do a time lapse at the very end with this again, with another pie plate. The first attempt, it seems like it went rather well. So we gotta make sure this has an inside and an outside, plus it has to have inside and outside. It needs a couple other things, I guess. Alright, so let's get this just wet enough that I can do what I need to do. Find the center. And probably going to have a little bit of camera shake, but here we go. Alright, so Luckily, I make something similar to this shape a lot of the time whenever I'm making one-piece planters or kind of chip and dip bowls, but this one just needs to be tall and probably not too much wider than it already is right here. Maybe another inch, give or take. But start with the center, work from there. It's gonna be a double-walled piece, so and again, this is 3 pounds of clay, just like the pie plate was. My regular plates, I only use about 2.5 pounds. Alright, so figure, need to make sure it's just wide enough it can fit more than just 4 pieces of bacon. I mean, come on now. If it's bacon, you're gonna cook some bacon. I know that for a fact. Alright, so push down right here. And alright, good. I'll work on the outer wall again once I finish with the inside one. Come on now, cooperate. I'll wire off that top in a minute. Alrighty, let's see. Make sure I'm not going too fast. Alright, so let's see. Okay, now let's kind of compress this a little bit. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and get some of that water out of there. And now this one will need a drainage hole between the 2 parts and a pouring type drainage area on the outer wall. Alright. Let's see, it's pretty good actually. Should fit quite a bit of bacon, honestly. Or hopefully. Hopefully, that's the one. So I'm gonna use this so I don't mess it up. Sponge on a stick. And dry it out, and yeah. Homemade. Sponge on a stick. It was your average sponge brush, but the end of it kind of broke off after constant use, and then I just cut a sponge and attached it to it because you asked. Okay, so now I gotta put the hole right here, like right here, and then I can build up this outer wall and then make the slight drainage area, or drain off. There we go. Let's see, I need to find the right tool. There it is. Straw. There are other tools, but straw seems to work best. See if there are any smaller segments in here. I'm sure there are. Alright, much smaller. There we go. See, normally I'd wait to do like adding drainage holes and such, but with this piece, I just don't want to get anything wrong. Let's see, where's my needle tool? Saw it down earlier, I picked it up, and here we are. There we go. Okay, it went all the way through, and it's a matter of figuring out how to get it out. There we go, there we go. It's gonna have a little bit of clay stuck in there for a little while. Just let it dry and knock it out later. Okay, that's good. Now we work on the outer wall real fast, and it shouldn't take but a few seconds, maybe a minute at most. Alright, here we go. Alrighty. Let's go back and smooth it up, and then we will finish off the this pouring. I don't know how to call it that. I don't know, the spot where it pours. I don't know the word. Or I can't remember it. Spout? I don't know, that doesn't quite feel right. Okay, so it's coming out right there. Might as well put this drainage right where that drainage is. Unless... Let's put 2 drainage on the outside. That way it makes it a little bit more cohesive and workable. Opposite sides. Okay, right there. Alright, smooth this over a little bit with the sponge. And do the same over here. Alrighty, and that's done. It's got the 1 drainage hole in the middle and 2 drainage on the sides. I guess if somebody wants to pour it straight out the drainage hole and out the side, then they have that option right there. But if they just want to pour what's on the outside out, I guess that's an option too. Thank y'all for watching. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to a time lapse for the rest of it. If you happen to enjoy these videos, please smash that like button and hit subscribe. It helps out a lot and allows me to keep my channel growing.